So Bishop Qamipicha, thank you very much for talking to me this afternoon. And we're going to be talking about the climate emergency, but before we do that, I just wondered if you would set the scene for us, just say a little bit about the Diocese of Marsabit that you're a bishop for, what it's like there, how big it is, how many people there are, and how most of them make a living.
Thank you so much. It's a great honor to be here. I come from the Anglican Diocese of Marsabit in northern Kenya. The geographical size of the diocese is the same as England, the larger England. We have got 14 different language people groups living in that area. And the majority of the people are pastoralists. Their main source of livelihood is livestock keeping. Within the diocese, I think a population of almost close to 1 million across the larger diocese.
And can you tell us a little bit about what the climate is like at the moment and how that affects the people and the animals and the environment?
The climate in the northern part of the country is not at all favorable. Things have really changed over years, and we've just been through a very devastating drought resulting from 4 years of failed rain. And for the first time, we've had almost over 80% of our livestock dying, people starving. So basically no water, no food, to the extent of even the wild animals started dying. So it's so hot, it's so dry. The water level in the few existing boreholes has gone down because there's no more rain. And when it rains, finally, because we had rain presently in the month of March and April, it was extreme flood because there's no ground cover to control the speed of the running rainwater. So basically, the two extremes, when it's dry, life and livelihoods are destroyed. When it rains, it's flood. So it's tough.
And could you just say a little bit more about what effect that is having on people? Can you give us some examples of the effects on people?
Number one, for the people living in northern Kenya who are majorly pastoralists, pastoralism is their way of livelihood. So since we have started experiencing changes in the climate, no more rain as we used to have, we've started losing our source of livelihood, our livestock. As I said, we've lost over 80% of our livestock. You can't grow crops because there's no enough rain to sustain growth. The land is dry. The seasonal rivers have got no water. The wells' water level has dropped. So basically, out of trying to survive, people have gone to cutting down the existing trees, so that they can burn charcoal to earn a living. And so we continue to further destroy our vegetative cover, even in catchment areas. And so we have experienced areas where we used to have some springs from the mountains is all dried up. So that's how it has been affecting people.
And this is a change from, say, 10 years ago?
Absolutely. From over 10 years ago, I mean, it has changed. I mean, the frequency of the drought occurring and the impact it has caused has continued to worsen. So the frequency started increasing. The effect of the drought in terms of how it affects life and livelihoods has increased. And so instead of experiencing drought for like maybe once in 10 years, then it comes down to 5 years, then now almost every 2 years. And when you get 2 seasons of rain failing, the long rain fails, the short rain fails, life is already gone.
So what sort of thing are you doing, or is the church doing, or are the people doing to try and live with and deal with this situation?
I think we have started realizing this is resulting from climate change. What we know is that when people have started cutting down trees and destroying the catchment areas, we started seeing now we are reaping the fruit or the consequences of our own human actions. And what we are trying to do in Kenya is we have what's called Green Anglican Movement. And this is a movement that is actually, the wave is going across the province of Kenya, and it's a campaign to plant trees. And so we have a vision and a dream of planting close to 45 million trees by the year 2026. And so across the Anglican dioceses in Kenya, reforestation is the norm now. So whenever we have got church functions, whenever we've got confirmations, enrollments, there's a campaign that we must plant trees. So that's how we are trying to address.
And what do you think people in the UK could do about this situation, if anything?
From where I sit, it is important to pray that at the end of the day our lives is in the hands of God. So praying and supporting any cause for good stewardship of God's creation, especially initiatives that is being carried out in order to bring back cover to the earth. So my appeal is that such ventures are supported, are funded, so that the good dreams, the good visions can be realized, because sometimes people may have the goodwill, but maybe the resources to make that happen when it's not there can actually slow down the process.
And if you had one message for the Diocese of Chelmsford and the people in it, what would that be?
From our Christian conviction and point of view, it's important that for us to know the struggles and the brokenness that we are experiencing in the world is as a result of human failure and disobedience. And so as a church and as a people, it's important that we hold firmly to the faith that we've so far embraced, faith in Jesus Christ. And the way to redeem the world is for the church to proclaim the gospel faithfully. And because when people believe in God, they will start living life from God's perspective. And therefore, we will start honoring God in our lives, in our words, in all that we do. So our mind is important that we hold firmly to the gospel and pursue gospel mandate of loving our neighbors as we love ourselves, loving God with all our heart, with all our soul, with all our strength.
And our neighbours include those in Kenya and elsewhere?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All those in need.
Yeah.
It's God's world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks so much. Thank you.